What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads Webcast. And before we get into this video, I just want to give you a quick reminder. If you would, do us a favor here at the Country Roads Webcast. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us, it helps you, it helps get more of this Mountaineer football content out to Mountaineer Nation. Also, if you would, hit that thumbs up down there, give us that like. That helps us here on YouTube as well as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads Webcast through Mountaineer Nation. With that being said, let's get into it. And what we're going to be bringing to you is a new Country Roads Webcast YouTube series that we're going to try and do throughout the season called Cruz Film Reviews, where I'm going to go through some of the bigger plays of the games throughout the season. I don't know if I'll be able to do it for every game throughout the season, but I'm going to try and do it as much as possible because I really do enjoy it and I think it's something fun to go through. Of course, this spring game was a little bit more vanilla, so in turn, the film review is also a little bit more vanilla, but I'm hoping throughout the season when things get more a little more complex, we can break down the plays a little more, the formations a little more, things like that going forward. But they purposely kept things vanilla both on offense and on defense here in the spring game. So as I said, as in turn, as goes that, the film review is also a little bit vanilla, but I still think it's fun and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys do and it's a good response, definitely let me know if you like it down in the comments, and hit that like button as well. As I said, that helps us up here on YouTube at the Country Roads Webcast. And if you guys like it, and let me know in the comments, I'll keep doing it throughout the season and have some more of these film reviews and some more in-depth ones here once the regular season gets going. But without further ado, let's get into it. Here is the inaugural edition of Cruz Film Reviews. Alright, so this is the first series we get, the first series of the blue team. So this is the first series we get first team versus first team. Gold's first team defense, Blue's first team offense. So I wanted to pause here. Let's take a look at what we got here. First team offense out in the field, of course, Mike O'Laughlin after the spring, so you got Palinde over there at the tight end, but same personnel that the Gold team came out with. I know that the coaches said they wanted to keep it vanilla, so maybe they didn't want to show a lot of different packages, but as you see, 3 receivers on the field, 1 in the slot, single back, 1 tight end, 11 personnel. Garrett Green in at quarterback, Tony Mathis at running back, Palinde, as I said, over there at the tight end / H-back, whatever you want to call it, position over there on the right beside the right tackle, which is Brandon Yates. Right guard, you get Doug Netster. Center, of course, Zach Frazier, James Gamitter, and then Wyatt Milam over here on the left. Sam James lined up at the Y or the slot position. Outside on this side, you get Bryce Ford Wheaton. Outside on the other side, you get Caden Prather. Let's take a look at the defense on the other side. Corner on the other side, far side there, that's Andrew Wilson-Lamp. In the slot there in between, playing the spear position, our nickel corner / safety hybrid position, Davis Mallinger. On the D-line, coming left to right, you get Taj Austin, Jordan Jefferson, Dante Stills and Taj Austin on the outside, Jordan Jefferson on the inside. Coming back behind them at the Mike linebacker, creeping up right here in this shot, Lee Koba right there. He's kind of creeping up into the D-line. Beside him right here is Jared Bartlett playing the bandit, which is that linebacker, defensive end hybrid position. Then right here, a little bit further out into the slot, is playing the wheel linebacker, Lance Dixon. And then far outside here, you got Charles Wood. And then, of course, back out of the picture, you can hardly see him. You get your 2 safeties, Marcus Floyd and Aubrey Burks. But let's play it through here. This is the first play of the game, good on good, for Blue, and Blue being the first team offense and Gold being the first team defense. Here we go. Little screen to Bryce Ford Wheaton, tunnel screen. Breaks off that. In a real game, he may have broken that for a big play to start the game. Blocking wasn't the best, but it was enough to hold the guy and him to get through. And good job by Bryce Ford Wheaton to fight through those arm tackles. 19, you see running in there, that's Grayson Malashevich coming in at receiver. Coming in for Palinde. So, you're going to see 4 wideouts in this set now for the Blue team as they come back to the line. Second play of the game for the first team offense. Not going to go through every play, but, this is the stuff early when you kind of really want to see, you get your starters in early. You won't see them a lot throughout the spring game, rather. Green, quick little drop, 1-on-1, good throw right there to Caden Prather. Great throw by Garrett Green on that pass, perfect placement. It was Caden Prather or no one. Heck of a catch by Prather to be able to get it, falling down over the shoulder like that. But as for Garrett Green, he put it outside. Nobody's going to catch that except for Prather. Either that or it's going incomplete. Wilson-Lamp was on him though, not bad coverage by Wilson-Lamp, who did make some plays in the game as well, pass deflection and stuff. They pretty much kind of did shy away from throwing towards Charles Woods, who we know is going to be a great corner. Andrew Wilson-Lamp, of course, a redshirt freshman. Very fast, though. But he made some good plays as well. Caden Prather got the best of him on that one, and Caden Prather made a lot of plays in the game. I think it's going to be a breakout season for him. Okay, so let's take a look here now. Later on in that same drive, this is going to be West Virginia's first run play of the day. outside zone, I believe. Maybe even a veer read by Garrett Green. I can't tell for sure if it's a read option or not. Kind of gives that look when he holds us that mesh point a little bit. But either way, outside zone coming this way, veer option, whatever you want to call it. But coming towards this side of the field, coming towards the screen. But didn't run a lot in this game. One, they're thudding, so you're not going to get to see a lot. Two, they really, the areas that they're concerned the most about, I think, is secondary and, of course, the quarterbacks. That's the areas that are most unproven. So they wanted to put some pressure on those guys to kind of get out there and throw it around, see what they could do offensively and as well as defensively, see how they could hold up against somebody coming out and chucking it around a lot and taking a lot of shots. So that's what they wanted to do, and that's what they did. And also that's, what this Graham Harrell offense is designed to do. So you're going to see a lot of that. But, of course, in the fall, you're going to see a whole lot more running than what you did in the spring game, guaranteed of that. And what we saw looked good, as you'll see here on this play. Let's take a look here. Coming this way, Tony Mathis, well blocked. He gets a few yards down the field before he's even touched, and, of course, they call him down. But as we said with that Bryce Ford Wheaton screen earlier, this play could have gone even longer as well. Let's check it out. Here he comes on the handoff. Great block by the receiver even on the outside. Hits there, but he would have probably kept going through that. They also weren't coming at him, so it's always hard to judge in these spring games if that guy would have been down or not in a real game. But good chance he keeps going, and even if not, he was 7-8 yards down the field. So that's good to see something West Virginia doing well there on an outside run rather, and the offensive line getting great push. No penetration there in the backfield. As I said, he was past the line of scrimmage before defenders came near him. So that's what you want to see from your running game. Good improvement by the offensive line, it looks like. Okay, next play here. We're going to see them go back to the run, but go to the inside this time. Inside zone looks like. Here we go. Tony Mathis, and you can see good push again by the offensive line. Had a little hole there, nice gap, and 2, 3, 4 yards downfield before comes in contact with the defender. So not only are they opening up the hole, but they're pushing the defensive line back. And West Virginia has a very strong defensive line. So anyone that doubted the improvements of the offensive line, I think the spring game, in the few run plays you saw, in the pass protection you saw, the offensive line has definitely improved, I believe. You can tell these guys all have experience together and have chemistry now. Okay, so here we are now later on in the same drive, first drive of the game for the blue team, first team offense, first team defense. And we see the first mistake of the day, really, by one of the quarterbacks anyway, as Garrett Green here is going to take a deep shot to Caden Prather into double coverage, ill-advised throw. If you want to look at the silver lining of that on the defense, Aubrey Burks, comes over, makes a play on the ball, and that's a guy who really needed to step up. West Virginia was looking for a free safety this offseason. May have found their starter in Aubrey Burks. We'll see. I'm sure him and Hershey McLaurin are going to continue to compete going into the fall, and who knows who else may end up factoring in there as well. But Aubrey Burks did look good in the spring game, and I liked his play. But we'll see here as what happens on this deep attempt by Garrett Green. Okay, so West Garrett Green was a little bit more up and down than the other quarterbacks. All right, now let's take a look here. Following that position with the gold team back on the field, second team offense, whatever you want to call it. We get to see Nico Marchiol in for the first time, the true freshman quarterback coming in, enrolled early to be here for the spring. Should still be finishing up, his senior year of high school. Came to West Virginia, went through spring practice, of course. Being that young, had his up and downs, but I thought he performed really well in the spring game. Didn't really look like a guy that, should still be in high school, true freshman. Very often didn't make, too many mistakes, was pretty solid throughout, I thought, and I was impressed by him, and I think, in the future he's going to be a good quarterback. I think West Virginia getting JT Daniels is good for him because it allows him to, learn and redshirt a year and be super, 100% prepared when his time comes. Let's take a look here as his first play running this gold team, as he's going to do a little quarterback draw here, something he ran a couple times in the game with good success. He actually made some good plays with his feet and looked like a good runner. But let's check out the first play of the game here for Nico for the gold team. All right, here we are. Nico in the gun. As you see, there's a shot of him there. A little close-up from the front side view. He's going to come out here. Got the same formation. 11 personnel. Quarterback draw. Got the lead blockers out in head. Well-designed play. He gets 8-9 yards downfield before he gets touched. Actually gets first down on that carry. So I like that play. West Virginia, mix that in some, and that's good for the run game as well, especially if you're passing the ball well. That's a way to have continued success in the run game, and I like that play that I've seen from Graham Harrell's offense. So as I stated earlier, the blue team kind of representing the first team offense, gold team representing the first team defense, but the quarterbacks and the specialists played for both teams, rotated And this is the blue team's second drive, and we'll get to see Will Crowder with this offense. But they also rotated some other guys in with the first team. Right tackle, Joe Hubbard is in on this drive over there on the right side. Center, they put Jordan White in on this drive over Zach Frazier. And then in the backfield, you got Justin Johnson, and then you see Grayson Malashevich getting some time with the ones here, as well as number 19 in the slot. And then you still got Sam James, Caden Prather, and Bryce Ford Wheaton on the outsides. And then the other defense remained pretty much the same as well, but Charles Woods now not in. You see Malachi Ruffin there as the corner on the other side with Andrew Wilson-Lamp as the corner on this side. Wanted to get a good look at those guys as well, I'm sure. So kind of in the spring, some guys that are proven, the Zach Fraziers of the world and stuff. You can afford to rotate other guys in that you rather want to get a look at when you have guys that you're pretty certain about that are, star players, solid players. So let's take a look here as we're going to see Goose Crowder do that quarterback draw we saw Nico Marchiol do on the gold team's drive, but with a little twist with the man coming in motion, maybe an option for a bubble screen onto this play as well. But I do like the design of it. You get the orbit motion from Sam James out the slot coming towards this way, and then Crowder looks that way, and then they're blocking for the quarterback draw, and we see another nice gain off of it as well. So let's see Will Crowder here, Goose Crowder if you want to call him that, with the blue team, the first team offense if you will, here on this drive. Now let's check it out here. Here comes Sam James in motion. The drop back looking that way, straight up the field. Gets touched there by Jefferson, so they mark him down, but like I said earlier, in a real game, that might be a first down run there by Goose Crowder. And that's the one thing I was surprised. I didn't know he was as quick as he proved to be in this game. He showed off his legs as well. I think all three of these quarterbacks can run if they need to. So that's good to see, and that's a change from what West Virginia has had in the past couple of years. And I like to see a quarterback that can make, if the play breaks down, get out and make a play with his feet, not necessarily running for yards, but also keeping the play alive and scrambling and finding someone open. Following that play, West Virginia comes out here with it's going to be Justin Johnson's first carry of the game on an outside zone to the right here in this 10 personnel, 3 wide to the left, single receiver to the right. Here we go, Justin Johnson. Outside, sees the hole, cuts up field, gets in there, and it's a first down run. And like I said, they're not really trying to tackle him, so who knows if he keeps going or not. But good move there by him, especially in the hole. He's got that little jump cut. He said before they called him Jump Cut Johnson, and boom, there's a little one. Boom, right there in the whole jump cut right there to get behind that blocker as well. So, I like what I saw from all the running backs in this game, as I'm sure we'll see some other ones make plays here going on. But that's Justin Johnson's first carry, and a good one, about a 10-yard gain or so. Okay, very next play here following that Justin Johnson run, and I really liked this one. And this is one I was like, man, why did you mark him down? You'll see what I'm talking about. This one might have been 6 in a real game. I'm not 100% sure, but, out of all the ones that I've seen, I think this one was the most likely. Probably going to be at least, if not a touchdown, it's at least going to be a 30-yard gain probably on this play. But very next play here, same personnel, 4 wide outs, but this time twins on each side, 2 over there to the short side. As you see, that's Sam James and Caden Prather. Then over here on the wide side, closest to the screen, you got Grayson Malashevich and Bryce Ford Wheaton going out. Goose Crowder still in at quarterback. Justin Johnson still in at running back. And what you're going to see here is a tunnel screen to Bryce Ford Wheaton that is well blocked, well set up, and perfectly executed, I guess you could say. And he's pretty much untouched until he gets at least a first down, and then he could have kept going, I believe. But here we go, let's check this one out. See Malashevich with a good block here. You get Doug Nestor out there, you get James Gamitter out there in front, and you love having those guys downfield. And Bryce Ford Wheaton may still be running if they don't call him down right there. Love that tunnel screen. I think the tunnel screen, when it's executed properly, is a dangerous play. We've seen guys do it, Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin, Kevin White, and this could be another year where we see receivers do it a lot in the Scram Harrell offense, as we saw a great play there by Bryce Ford Wheaton on that tunnel screen. Okay, very next play here following that tunnel screen, which is going to end up being the final play of the first quarter in the Gold Blue Spring game. But I did want to show this one because I know earlier Caden Prather had that deep ball from Garrett Green that he got on Andrew Wilson-Lamp. Here we're going to see the two matched up again, and Goose Crowder is going to take the same shot, going for Caden Prather for a touchdown. Caden Prather does have a step, he has good position, but Andrew Wilson-Lamp, as I said, is fast, and he's there, and he makes a play on this one. So I did want to show Andrew Wilson-Lamp, we saw him get beat once, but I didn't want to say that he didn't have a good game as well, and show some of his plays that stuck out, and a good play from the defense here, and a good play from the secondary, especially an area that has been marked as an area of concern for West Virginia. So let's take a look here. As you can see, the two matched up there on the top side of the screen on this play. Alright, so here we go. Goose getting the snap, sees Prather, likes the one-on-one, good throw, And just getting the hand in there right at the last second, great play by Wilson Lamp to get his hand in there to end the quarter and make a good play for the defense. And I liked what I saw from Wilson Lamp. Charles Wood's proven that other corner is the one you're looking at to see who can step up. And I think Wilson Lamp has stepped up to this point in the spring. He's going to have some more competition coming in with spells. And I think Mumu had a good spring game as well. So we'll see how that position plays out. But that was a great play by Wilson Lamp. Okay, here we are in the second quarter now. Actually, still the same drive, though, for that blue team, with Goose Crowder in at quarterback, Justin Johnson at running back. Our receivers, you got Sam James on the slot here closest to the screen, along with Caden Prather. Then you get Bryce Ford waiting on the opposite side, Grayson Malashevich in the slot. Defensive players all still the same pretty much. I think the only difference I saw was Sean Martin in at defensive end on the other side for Taj Austin on this position. And then, of course, as I said earlier, Malachi Ruffin down here in a corner on this side. And on this play, what you're going to see is the defense is going to send Malachi Ruffin on a little delayed cornerback blitz, trying to come in. Couldn't quite get to Goose Crowder. I think he diagnoses this pretty well. You're going to see Sam James come up the field on not quite a fade, more of a post look almost, just streaking down this slot here, getting something quick in that seam, little seam route, I guess you could call it. But Goose Crowder reads it well, looks left, kind of looks off the defense. Sam James one-on-one coverage, beats his man with his speed. Really impressive catch as well. Looks like his hands have gotten a lot stronger. And I'm expecting a big year from Sam this year. You all know I'm a big Sam James fan, and I'd love to see him get a touchdown in the spring game. So let's look at this. Pretty pass as well by Goose Crowder, right on the money. 31-yard touchdown pass from Crowder to Sam James here for the blue team to get them on the board. And it's Goose Crowder's second touchdown drive. He led Lynn J. Dixon capped off the first one with a touchdown run, but Crowder gets the toss to touchdown pass this time to put points on the board for the blue team as the quarterbacks rotated for both teams. Let's check it out. All right, so Goose sees something, makes some kind of call to the offensive line or maybe to the receivers. And here you see Malachi Ruffin coming up. Here he comes in on that blitz from that corner. Double corner blitz actually coming in from the other side as well with Wilson Lamp. Perfectly placed ball, though, from Goose Crowder to Sam James with the fake peeing touchdown celebration. Thought that was hilarious. Of course, he got flagged for it and ended up having to kick a longer extra point. But I think that we're going to get a replay here on this one. Let's check it out here on the replay and see. I didn't realize that it was a double corner blitz. I did see when I was at the game live, I saw Malachi Ruffin come in, and I remembered that. So that was going off memory. But Andrew Wilson Lamp, it looked like, came in from the other side as well. Good. Had enough time, though, to get that pass off, so good pass protection from that offensive line. And Sam James matched up with a linebacker. You like that every time, even though it's Lance Dixon, who's athletic and wasn't too far behind. But, Sam James gets behind him, behind the defense, in a perfectly placed ball from Goose Crowder. 31-yard touchdown. Still in the second quarter here, let's take a look at the gold team's next drive. You get Garrett Green out here with the gold team this time. Then you get our first look at Jalen Anderson, a player who came in last year as a 4-star true freshman, but, came in late, didn't get on campus until, second month of the season, I believe, and ended up having a red shirt. But he's in the backfield on this one, and he was impressive as well. I think all 4 running backs are going to play for West Virginia this season. And on this play, what you're going to see is something we saw a couple times in this game. So I think this play is more so designed to do this. It's like the offensive line kind of clogs the middle and gives it almost an inside zone look, but the halfback, takes a quick step outside and bounces it out. And so I really like the design of this play. It's almost like a counter trap type look to the outside. Coming back here, it's going to be coming to the short side here to the side closest to the screen. Going to come inside and bounce it this way. Good run by Jalen Anderson, and well blocked as he gets a first down before he's within contact of anyone. And Garrett Green even coming out here looking to lead block as well when he bounces it to the outside. Anderson takes it, kind of bounces it right there through outside. We'll see later on a touchdown. I believe it's Marquand Rucker, or maybe in the final touchdown of the game. I'm sure we'll get there. Does something similar on a similar looking handoff and similar looking play design. But yeah, good run there from Jalen Anderson, who looked good, and big body, but also showed a little bit more speed than I knew he had. So that was good to see. And that graphic is incorrect. John Hughes and Parker Moore are no longer with the Mallinger. So great job by ESPN per usual. What do you expect? All right, so we saw some plays from Garrett Green's first drive with the first team offense, and saw some from Goose Crowder's from the first team offense when he ended with the touchdown pass to Sam James. Now it's Nico Markiel's turn to get some reps with the first team offense, and that's him here on the field with that first team offense in the white jersey there. Tony Mathis in to his left, Palende here in the H-back position in the backfield in that similar 11 personnel formation with 3 wideouts. You'll get Bryce Ford Wheaton over there to the left, Caden Prather down here closest to the screen, and Sam James in the slot. offensive line, right to left, you get the first team offensive line that was out to start the game, which is, Brandon Yates at right tackle, Doug Nestor at right guard, Zach Frazier at center, and James Gamitter at, no, it's not the first one. That's Jordan White at left guard here this time. And then, of course, Wyatt Milam still at left tackle. So the only change among that offensive line is Brandon Yates back in there as he was to start the game. And now Jordan White getting some reps at guard. We saw him get some reps at center earlier in our couple plays that we went through. But let's check this out. This is Nico's first play. It's going to be that little play action rollout. Both other quarterbacks did. We've seen them do it a couple times. I think we showed a play of Will Crowder doing it. But here's Nico on that play. And on this one, I think both times the other quarterback ran that they looked for an out route deeper down the field. I don't think that was there for Nico on this one. He gets the check down to Palende, who's wide open. Palende, the transfer tight end from Colorado State. And I believe it's a pickup for a first down. Let's check it out here. Nico Marchiol's first drive with the first team offense, the blue team. Here it is, gets the snap. Fakes it, Tony Mathis, roll out on the naked bootleg. Palende there. Big gain, 10, 15 yards. Marked down, who knows, could have been at least 20, but good showing there for Nico to start on the his first drive with the first team offense. Simple read, man open, hit him right there, get the first down, and get him in a rhythm, to start with this first team offense. Okay, so same drive here for the blue team now in midfield. We're going to get to see another big passing play from Nico Marchiol. On this one, we're going to see the offensive line's improvement as well because he has great protection. He has all day here to look through his reads. I think his initial reads aren't there. He steps up in the pocket, I think thinks about taking off, but then all of a sudden you see Grayson Malashevich come open in the middle, breaking this way towards this side of the screen down the field. And it's a big gain of about 20 yards, and could have been even more if they didn't mark him down, as we said on several plays on this game. But let's check this one out as a nice play here from the true freshman quarterback. That's the future of West Virginia football, a lot of people are saying, and he's certainly looking like he has that it factor on this play. Let's check it out. Snap comes. Let's look 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he had 5 seconds at least back there. Plenty of time. Finds his guy, Malashevich, mark him down right there at the cusp of the red zone. 30-yard gain for Nico Marchiol to Grayson Malashevich in the slot, and great play by Marchiol. Patient, and good protection there. As we see both the tackles, Yates and Milam holding up against that outside pressure. So good stuff there from the offensive line as well. Okay, so here we are later on in the same drive for the blue team. Nico Marchiol still in at quarterback. His first drive with the first team offense. And we're going to see him cap this drive off with a touchdown as well. And he's going to do it with his feet, as I said earlier. He showed he's a capable runner, something he did in high school, something we thought he'd still be capable to do. And it looks like he still is. We've seen him run a quarterback draw earlier. I believe this kind of looks like a quarterback draw, but I believe it's just a great read by Marchiol. As we see West Virginia in that same personnel, we've seen them in a few times here, that 10 personnel. We've seen them in 11 or 10 most of this one. They didn't show a lot of two-back stuff, but I do think they'll use that in the season. As I said, they kept things pretty vanilla, but you got Malashevich and Bryce Ford Wheaton, who's out of the picture right now on the top side of the screen. Down here, Sam James, Bryce Ford, and Caden Prather, Tony Mathis in the backfield. Same offensive line as before. He's going to drop back. The defense is going to spread apart. He's going to make that read that the middle's open, and he's got enough space to get in the end zone, and he's quick enough to get it there, reach across the goal line. And it's a touchdown, and Nico Marchiol caps off his drive with the first team with a touchdown as well. Let's check it out. All right, so here we go. See the receivers come out in the patterns. Here he goes. The middle breaks open. He says, I can make it. Reaches in. Touchdown. Nico Marchiol. First one we'll see him do as many as a Mountaineer, hopefully. So good play there. Him and Goose Crowder both scored touchdowns on their first drives with the first team offense. Garrett Green did have a good drive on his first one, of course, ended with interception. Like I said, do with that what you will. This is a glorified practice, and there's been 14 others. But in this one, Goose and Marchiol looked a little bit more sharper. Garrett Green looked a little bit more up and down. But as we saw in some of the highlights earlier, he did have some good throws on some deep balls as well. But there he is, the true freshman phenom, Nico Marchiol, getting into the end zone for the Mountaineers on about a 6-yard scamper to give the blue team the lead back just before the half. Okay, so here we are, into the second quarter, going up. We get to see Goose Crowder back out on the field, this time with the gold team. And we're going to get to see the two people that stood out the most. If you ask people, basically, if you've heard people talk about the spring game, they've probably talked about Goose Crowder looking the best of the quarterbacks, which I would agree with. And I think that's being talked about because that's kind of a surprise based on what we had heard, throughout the spring. It kind of sounded like Garrett Green was the one leading, but Goose Crowder definitely stood out in this game, and we see him make another play here to the other guy that was, probably the main standout from the spring game. And it's someone we've heard the coaches talk about all spring. And they say everything, you throw to him, he catches. And we got to see it ourselves in the spring game. He was awarded a scholarship following the spring game. The former walk-on from Morgantown High, Preston Fox. 5 catches, over 120 yards, I believe, in this spring game. This, the most impressive of all those catches, winded up on SportsCenter's top 10 as the number 2 play, I believe. So here we go. Great play all around. Good blocking by the offensive line, giving Goose Crowder some time to get the ball deep enough. He reads the play, climbs the pocket, and trusts Preston Fox, and makes a great throw where only Preston Fox can get it, even though Fox was kind of bracketed by the corner in the safety. And of course, amazing effort by Preston Fox to reach out, grab this with one hand, and bring it in. It's like he has stick 'em on those hands or something. It's impressive. He definitely does catch everything. The coaches said that all off season, but seeing is believing, and I think a lot of the fans are hoping to see him be able to do it in the fall and against some of the first team defense and against Power 5 competition. And let's hope that he can. But he was definitely impressive in the spring game, and this is the most impressive play that he had. And let's check it out here. So Goose gets the snap, takes his time, long drop back, as I said, climbs the pocket there to be able to get it off. Right there, perfect placement, even though it's kind of almost double coverage with, I believe, Caleb Coleman coming over there from the safety spot. But as you see, Preston Fox reaching out, somehow snagging that with his one hand on. But a greatly placed ball there by Goose Crowder. I think that was one of his best throws of the day, just where he put that ball. Look, woof, reaching out with that one hand. Hell of a grab there. Okay, so here we are at the start of the second half. First play of the second half, and this is one of the better sequences of the game, I thought. So we're going to let it play through here. It's 2 plays, and it was 2 plays and a touchdown. Both passes from Garrett Green to Bryce Ford Wheaton, who's on the outside there in the top of your screen. And I loved, the way that Garrett Green came out and attacked this one, after he had some misfires in the first half. As I said, it was up and down for him, but I think his highs were really good highs. I think we've heard Neil Brown say as much that when he's good, he's really good. He's just got to learn to not make those bad plays, as we saw with that interception earlier, and then he had some other misfires as well. But coming out in the second half here, good confidence booster for him, good confidence booster for Bryce Ford Wheaton, as you have starters on starters here again, at least one more time here in the second half. You got Garrett Green at quarterback. We got that 11 personnel again with the 3 wideouts, those being Caden Prather, Sam James, and Bryce Ford Wheaton. Really love those as your top 3 wideouts, as I said before. Sam James, as you see, is going to come in motion on this play towards us. Jaquay Hubbard in at right tackle, Doug Nestor at right guard, Zach Frazier at center, James Mitter left guard, Wyatt Milan left tackle, and then Brian Palinde in as the H-back attached there on the left side as the tight end look. And then on the defense, same as earlier, Andrew Wilson-Lamp on this side. I believe it's Malachi Ruffin in for Charles Woods on the opposite side. Charles Woods didn't play too much in the second half, I don't believe. Defensive line remains the same. Linebackers and safeties remain the same as earlier as that first team defense that started the game. So kind of back to the first team defense and first team offense that started the game for this one. Pretty much with the only exception I really can see is Malachi Ruffin in a corner on defense and Jaquay Hubbard in right tackle on offense. But let's take a look at this two-play sequence here for West Virginia to start the second half of the spring game, right on cue for the blue team with 2 big plays. Sam James coming in motion, as I said, to this side on the slot instead, leaving Bryce Ford Wheaton alone on that side. Play action fake, kind of that veer option look, but this time coming this way. Steps up a little bit underthrown, but as I said, great adjustment by Ford Wheaton. Kind of similar to the pass we saw Goose Crowder make earlier in the game to Preston Fox. That wasn't, necessarily underthrown, but just put right there where his guy can adjust and make a play on it. And as I said earlier on that play, good job by the receivers in this game making the adjustments on these little back shoulder type long balls, these 50-50 balls. Play action again, similar look. Bryce Ford Wheaton again. This time, a very accurate throw from Garrett Green, right on the back shoulder. Bryce Ford Wheaton makes a play on the ball. He's got a great height advantage on Malachi Ruffin, and it's a touchdown. 2-play drive, great start to the second half. That's what you want to see from this offense. And that's what the offense has talked about with these receivers, making plays on 50-50 balls. They want them to do it, and this Graham Harrell offense, going to attack downfield. As you see, play action, great pass protection, and just putting it up where Bryce Ford Wheaton can make a play, and he does it. Touchdown. And great play by the receiver, great ball by the quarterback. And you're going to see a lot of those deep balls and back shoulder fade throws for West Virginia this season, I believe. And I think they're going to execute them in this Graham Harrell offense as you see the extra point go through. And the blue team take a 21-15 lead. And that'd be the final touchdown of the day for the blue team in the 2022 Gold Blue Spring game. Okay, so Gold team back out on the field. And as I said in the second half, West Virginia really let some of the younger guys get some reps, some of the guys that, are on their developmental squads and their scout teams and things like that. And that's who you'll see in a quarterback on this one is Matt Cavallaro, the former preferred walk-on. Jalen Anderson, they're beside him in the backfield. But you're even going to see him here hook up with Preston Fox, and another impressive play by the Morgantown native Preston Fox. Here on the outside, down here at the bottom of the screen, he's going to go on a go route, and it's one-on-one again with him in the corner. Makes a play on the ball despite a pass interference that's called on this play. Another amazing catch by Preston Fox. Let's check it out. Here we go. Deep ball coming. Quick drop, good protection. Throws it up. Lets Preston Fox make a play. Another falling catch despite the call of pass interference there on the defense. As you see, Bryce Ford Wheaton even getting hyped for him. Everyone was hyped over Preston Fox in this one and some of the catches that he was making. And I think it was Caden Prather they asked after the game in the press conference was, are you guys surprised when you see him do that? And he says, not really. That's just Preston. That's what he does. Everything he does, he gets his hands on, he catches. All right, so here we are on the final touchdown of the Gold Blue Spring game. Get to see that play I talked about earlier. Jalen Anderson ran, where he kind of goes inside, then bounces it outside. This time it's former walk-on Marquand Rucker in the backfield for the Gold team. And he'll score the touchdown here, which would prove to be the game winner as the Gold team defeats the Blue team 22-21 in the 2022 Gold Blue Spring game. Gold team representing the first team defense, so they get the win there in this one. Good blocking by the offensive line, good move by Rucker as he cuts it to the outside, uses some speed, and bursts across the goal line. Final touchdown of the Gold Blue Spring game. Here we go. Comes right there, pins it inside, quick bounce to the outside, and there it is, the game-winning touchdown in the 2022 Gold Blue Spring game, giving the Gold the 22-21 victory over the Blue team. And I hope you've enjoyed the inaugural edition of Cruise Film Reviews. Something I'm going to try and do, throughout the season. Would love to try and do it for every game. Don't know if that's achievable, but at least, certain games throughout the season. Hopefully be able to do this and continue the Cruise Film Reviews series. As you see the extra point go through, that was the difference in the game. And the Gold team with the 22-21 victory here over Blue. So as you can see, Graham Harrell's offense, as advertised in the spring game, a lot of attacking downfield, a lot of good pass plays, a lot of good plays from the receivers and the quarterbacks. But to me, the one thing that stood out the most to me, I think unit-wise, was the offensive line. I think they played the best in the game. They've been touted as being improved, and I think they showed that they are that. You can see their experience. I was really impressed by the offensive line. Just going through my positions, as I said, quarterbacks, I thought Goose stood out the most. Running backs, I liked what I saw from Tony Mathis, but they didn't play him a lot. It's one of those guys where you know what you have with him. Lynn J. Dixon, first carry, touchdown, showed his speed, showed some power there. Justin Johnson, Jump Cut Johnson, as they call him, rightfully so. We saw him make some plays in there. And Jalen Anderson, I think, is going to be a big body that's a little bit quicker than expected as well to break tackles. And I think all four of them will play. And as I said, the offense was vanilla, but I think we'll see two back sets where you'll see those running backs blocking for each other and then have one pass block and one out in the pass concept. Receivers, as stated, love the top three: Caden Prather, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Sam James. Saw all three of them make plays, have deep, long pass plays, all over 30 yards, I believe, at least. And then, Preston Fox, the walk-on, making plays, no longer a walk-on, now a scholarship receiver. We'll see how he ends up in the fall. Hopefully he'll get some playing time there as a reserve, and so that's a guy that maybe you can count on in some clutch situations with those hands. Bree Smith, as we said, didn't know if he'd play, barely did, but did make a play, though, that one play there on the out route early in the game. I think he's as advertised. Grayson Malashevich even looked good in his limited action. We've seen the true freshman Jarrell Williams get some catches as well. So, like West Virginia has at receiver, wouldn't mind to see them add one more. Offensive line, as I said, great in pass protection, run blocking. They were getting, pushed 3-4 yards downfield on run plays, as well as opening the holes. Very impressed with the offensive line. As I said, most impressive thing to me. Defensive line did get pressure despite not getting any sacks. That was a mixture of the quarterbacks doing good footwork in the pocket, stepping up, getting out when the play called for it, throwing the ball away even. And so I think there was only one sack, and that was late in the game by Sean Martin. But the defense did look good, in pressure. And then run plays, they did get penetration, once or twice, not for tackles for loss or anything, but plugged up the holes and forced the running backs to bounce outside. But that was a testament to the running backs reading the plays well and getting yards where they could, even when maybe the initial hole wasn't there on occasion when it was not. Linebackers liked what I saw for the most part. Bartlett, getting in there, Lance Dixon getting in there, and then of course Lee Koba, I think, was as advertised. Saw him all over the field making a lot of tackles. Don't know how many he had, but he looked good. Davis Mallinger looks fast. Loved seeing him as not only as the team's starting spear, but also as the kick returner there That's something I'd hope to see, is that maybe utilizing him there, and he was back there, fielding kicks. They weren't live, but he's obviously in the contention there, and I think he's a guy that could end up doing a good job with that. And then other safeties, Aubrey Burks, we saw make an interception, and Marcus Floyd, the Murray State transfer, playing the cat safety, was solid there as well, and I like that. Andrew Wilson-Lamp, up and down, but he's a redshirt freshman. You're going to get that. Love his speed, love his length at 6'3". Saw him bat down a couple passes. Malachi Ruffin, I think a former preferred walk-on, now a senior. He's going to maybe factor in the reserve role. Mixed results as well. Charles Woods, they never really threw at him when he was in, and he barely played. They know what they have in him. Didn't want to risk injury. But corners, not bad. Liked what I saw. More impressed with the secondary, and not as worried about the secondary now following the spring, I think, as I was going into the spring. So that's a relief. Specialists, Parker Grotehouse, put the ball into the end zone on kickoffs. Did what you brought him here to do, the transfer from Florida State as the kickoff specialist. Also like what Danny King showed there, and I think Danny King could factor in there, and maybe even in the place kicking battle between which is kind of showing him, Casey Legg and Grotehouse battling there. I think you could see Casey Legg though probably as your first team guy there most likely. Punting, didn't really see too much. Colton McGee, I think, punted once. I don't even know if I could see Ollie Straw punt any. Not that I recall did we see any Ollie Straw punts, but yeah, special teams, can't really say too much about it. No live returns or anything, but the kickoffs by Grotehouse went in the end zone. Danny King put a couple in the end zone, so that's good. So like to see that from the specialists. Overall, no injuries. That's the main thing you want to see coming out of spring. But overall, really hope you guys enjoyed the first edition of Cruz's Film Reviews. Here, starting with the WVU Football Spring Game 2022 edition. Let me know in the comments your spring game thoughts, what you thought of some of these plays. What was your favorite play from these highlights in this film review? And do you want to see more of these film reviews going forward? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I'm Jordan Cruz. Until next time, let's go. Mountaineers.